Mr. Okay, I was just asking your reading of some of the deals timelines here we have on the table. Equinor is completing its Nigeria-Azerbaijan asset sale. We're also seeing that of Seplat and then the mobile producing Nigeria Unlimited to finally close on Thursday this week. And we have O&O making fresh prospects and forecasts after the Ajib Oil acquisition. What's your reading of these deals on the table and looking at the impact, the sort of scale we might see?
So my view is that, we have made significant progress as a nation in terms of building indigenous capacity. The three companies that have acquired the assets are all indigenous companies owned by Nigerians, which I think for me is quite significant and shouldn't be underplayed. As the government has said, it's not that the IOCs are leaving. It's just that we are seeing portfolio rationalization. But for me, ultimately, it's more of an issue of Nigerians taking ownership of its resources and also developing its resources. Now, in terms of timeline, I don't think the timelines have been as bad as what we have seen historically. I think from maybe deal announcement to actual completion. We know that the Seplat Mobile transaction suffered a bit of setback with regards to regulatory issues, but it's good that that was sorted out, and now we are finally seeing actual close. For Chapal, I think the excitement for Chapal would be that Chapal came in as a dark horse, right, and has been able to also complete a transaction of this size. And also the timing of the transaction wasn't long-winded, and the consent approvals and the necessary regulatory approvals rather given by the government was not long-winded. So in my view, I think these are good transactions, and also this also tells a story that Nigerian indigenous companies have come up with to be able to explore Nigerian assets for the benefit of the Nigerian people.
And talking about the sort of story the oil and gas development are telling at this point in time, let's narrow down towards the Dangote Refinery. The commencement of the Naira crude oil sale earlier in October is 3 months down the line this month, and we've had questions as to the capacity of the NNPCL to meet Dangote's supply demand. And also with this suit before the court now at this point in time, where Dangote Refinery is appealing to nullify the import licenses secured by NNPCL and 6 others now. In terms of walking through these fine details in the sort of contractual agreements and other details, which seem to have some sort of mismatch here or varying opinions. Your take on the sort of sanctity we've seen so far since the commencement of deals and production from the Dangote Refinery?
Okay, so to talk about the production from the refinery, I think what we've experienced has been a bit of hiccups at the beginning, which has been resolved, especially with regards to supply of crude oil to the refinery and whether the NNPCL will be the sole off-taker, which we have seen that this has been clarified and liberalized, that the NNPC will not be the sole off-taker at the refinery. We've seen Ipman say that loading has commenced from the refinery. I think the initial loading was done through MRS's facility, but as I understand it, the Ipman members can now buy directly from the facility. So we've seen a bit of growth in terms of, or what I would say improvement in terms of the startup of the refinery, the access of the refinery to feedstock, and the ability of the refinery to service the Nigerian market in terms of supply into the Nigerian market. Now, you would note that I think at the time when the deal between Ipman and the refinery was sealed, initially sale of PMS was supposed to be sold at 990 naira, but I think there's been a reduction to about 970, which means that perhaps they would see more stable prices. Now, in terms of the suit by the owners of the refinery, against the NNPCL with regards to, and perhaps maybe the NNPCL with regards to importation licenses and things like that. I may not be able to, I have my views,
Yes,
however, I may not
because
be
the matter
able
is
to
still in
comment.
court.
Yeah, because it's sub judice, yes.
Yes. Mr. Okay, wrapping up the conversation just in a minute now, I'd like your take especially on the Port Harcourt Refinery. We've also had questions as to what exactly is Port Harcourt Refinery refining at this point in time. But with the NNPCL talking about timelines here, saying it's about 90% complete now, your take around the prospects here, and overall, do you think Nigeria can sustain its production, its all output at this point? And then when we're looking at OPEC extending this 1.5 million barrels per day quota till 2026. Your take on all of these developments?
So a quick one on the Port Harcourt Refinery. I think there's been a lot of controversy as to whether the refinery is operational or not, but I think this has been clarified by various persons. I think the government spokesman has clarified this. I think the leader of the Trade Union Congress has also clarified this. So perhaps we can lean on those clarifications to say the refinery is operational. But the question which you have asked as to what is being produced, it appears that as of now, PMS is not being produced. What we understand is being produced now is naphtha and diesel. And based on the reports we've seen, naphtha is being perhaps mixed with maybe other produce to be able to bring out PMS. But as of now, I don't think PMS is being produced. But there's a bit of blending for the purpose of production of PMS. So I think PMS is not produced as of now, but other products such as diesel, naphtha, are being produced at the refinery. With regards to sustainability or the Nigerian quota and the crude oil production rate, Nigeria is at, I think as at November, based on the information from the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, says that production is about 1.6 million barrels per day. Our oil quota from OPEC, based on what we've agreed, even up until last month, is 1.5 million per day. What this means is that if we continue to produce beyond, if we continue to produce beyond 1.5 million on a sustainable basis, as the Minister of Petroleum Resources has said, that we are looking to producing 2 million barrels per day. In the event that we continue to sustainably produce more than 1.5 million per day, then we may need to go to OPEC to adjust our quota levels.
Yes. Well, we'll have to leave the conversation here for now. Thank you so much for your time on the show today, Mr. Oke. That was Oyeyemi Oke, partner at AO2 Law.